You're listening to Laugh Out Loud with Dave and JJ.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you, man?
Just left Lowe's. Yeah, we're,
Are you renovating?
like chickens with head cut off. I had to get some tile cleaner.
Tile cleaner. Can see that you're keeping busy.
It's been pretty much wide open. We left at 6 o'clock to run, well, we ran over to the shop because I had to go back and double check my gas pedal for my Vegas car, which was going to take about 5 minutes. It turned into about a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half, because I was helping unload and load and move stuff around. And, you know, typical deal. We're leaving, me and Kristen are having to run to the coast to go check on the beach house. We have some renters coming in about 3 weeks. And obviously the schedule is going to be pretty tight here for the next couple. So we're running over, running back. And I fly out noon on Thursday.
We're heading to Phoenix.
We're heading to the Valley of the Sun. So excited to go to Phoenix after Daytona. The team knew that we were going to be a little bit down on horsepower, which hurts qualifying, but raced my way through the 150, and we saved as many miles as we could through practice, which obviously paid off for the race because we logged a whopping 10 laps before we had an engine failure of, it appeared to me, a rod bolt.
Wow.
You know, I'd heard the engine tuner thought that there was a shot that maybe it was a bearing, but to me it didn't look like it had enough color to have lost a bearing. So my guess was a broken rod bolt, which obviously was a disappointment because, you know, we never in a position to break off into a two-car pack like happened late in the race, but in the big pack, the car moved around really good. So
yeah, it was a little disappointing to watch, and I kept praying it was just a line that came off or something.
Yeah,
I was at my fundraiser, and there was about 100 of our closest friends, and there you were on 25 screens, and it all kind of happened, and I don't think there wasn't one person that didn't turn their head and look directly at me to see what my reaction was. So I was just kind of like, it's all right, it's okay, it's just a hose, like.
Yeah, technically I think it qualified as a pan failure, an oil pan failure, because the oil pan failed to keep the internal pieces inside the engine.
Well, they're going to have to work on some new materials to make those pans with them, because that's just not right.
No, it's not. But you know, I was obviously very disappointed. It actually did help having Kevin Harvick blow up an engine, 12 laps later. And I know that a lot of teams changed engines. I think the 48 had gone through a couple engines. I think there were several teams that obviously changed their engine for the Daytona 500, and we didn't. And I almost expected to have a failure just for the fact that we only had the one engine. We had roughly maybe 180 miles, 200 miles in the 150s in all the practice and qualifying runs. But obviously, I expected to make it a little bit further than that.
Well, I'm sure everybody did. Your surprise was probably much to the surprise of the engine builder as well, who was probably watching on TV thinking, what the hell just happened? So
sure. From an RPM standpoint, we didn't turn any more RPM than we had. If it was maybe 100 RPM. And, the temperatures all looked good, so there wasn't any, those things happen, and obviously now it's behind us, which is always good. We came away with some good sponsors that jumped on board for Daytona, and obviously it looks like AAMCO Transmissions has decided to lengthen that sponsorship onto Phoenix, and I had a conference call today that was very, very encouraging, and we'll see where it leads. There's a possibility maybe one or two more races in the year. Obviously we haven't got quite that far, but just the fact that the possibilities there is very encouraging. Actually, we were kind of considered, one of the underdogs of the race, and Chris Browning, the president of Darlington Speedway, came up, and I know Chris pretty well. He's a great guy, has a very, very nice family. Said, hey, we feel as a racetrack compared to some of the other facilities, we're underdogs as well, and we'd love to come on board and try to help in however we could. And obviously all those things are very, very appreciated. And Tom McMillan, who is a friend of the team, who's been helping out some different ways. He has a philosophy of paying it forward, as well as some of the things that I was doing last year with, trying and still in the process of trying to develop kind of a Pay It Forward Friday of doing some fun things for assorted people. So, like I said, it was a feel-good story that obviously didn't end like we wanted it to, but at the end of the day, in the big picture, we made the show. All those things help moving forward. Obviously, Phoenix gets here in a rush, and then, the team will stay out there, the cars will stay out there to run the Vegas race. So, the Whitney Motorsports guys have been thrashing at the shop, and, it's going to be another late night tonight. I know they got an assistant truck driver because they're going to have to be pulling some heavy shifts in order to get from Charlotte here tonight into Phoenix before they have to park the trailers on Thursday.
I guess the great thing is with all the little people and reading the Darlington story, the AAMCO transmissions, the red line oil, I saw Schweiken on the back side of the car. That was, kind of cool, and there was some mention on Twitter about Schweiken. Someone must have saw it on your fire suit, so there's a lot of hype, and I think the commentators throughout race week had a lot of great things to say in regards to the Whitney team, in regards to you, JJ, especially after racing your way in the 150s, after coming back 2 years ago, what you've been through with the fractured vertebrae in your neck, having going through what you've been through, and come out in 2011 really like a shot out of a gun. It's really, really good to see, even though it wasn't like we'd all had hoped Daytona would end, knowing that you're headed to Phoenix, you're going home for some good Mexicali food, spend some time out there, hopefully with some family and friends, and run Vegas, and then, get them to stop on the way back from Vegas and just leave the trailer at Bristol.
Well, we're going to take that extra week off and hopefully get caught up and get regrouped. I know that Tony and the guys, some of the guys went to the chassis dyno, the pull-down rig, getting the Las Vegas car ready, and when they did the chassis dyno, were a little bit worried by some of the numbers they saw. So they spent a lot of extra time tuning on the engine where they got it to where, they were pretty happy with the numbers that it was producing, but it created a feeling of uncertainty. So they came back to the shop, got the Phoenix car, which was basically in the process of gearing going to the trailer, made a couple quick changes to it, and took it back to the chassis dyno to make sure that there were no issues there too. So I was at the shop at 7:30 tonight for the second time today, and they were just getting back with the car for Phoenix. So it was a real late night for them last night, and it'll probably be I'm going to be guessing somewhere around 10, maybe 11 o'clock before they get the trailer loaded and get down the road. They had went and sent Cameron, who was kind of like the intern at the shop, sent him up to McDonald's and grabbed a bag full of cheeseburgers. The guys were kind of scarfing as they were in between little jobs here and there. So they've been fed. Just a matter of get everything tidied up in the trailer and down the road.
Let's talk a little bit about horsepower heading into Phoenix. Are we going with another motor designed and built by it was Ernie Elliott that you ran at Daytona?
That is correct. It's another Ernie Elliott engine. The power numbers that Tony and the guys got worked out earlier today are pretty close. They're not quite as big a number as maybe what some of the Hendrick ECR guys have. The number that we're off it really isn't a horrible number. I think it's pretty comparable to the competition we're running against.
Yeah.
So I mean, just as long as we know that we're even with the guys we have to race against into the field, and we proved last year with the Dodges that we could go out there and qualify some really good cars with very minimal horsepower and torque. What we have with the Chevrolet going to Phoenix is substantially better than what the Dodges were. So, like I said, we're still not we're not even on horsepower, but I think we're close enough that if Tony gets the car handling well, I can put down a good lap. We should have no issues.
Okay, so we're going to leave Phoenix, head to Vegas, take a week off, and then Bristol. Joel has set up a package to stay with JJ at Bristol Motor Speedway.
It's just a lot of fun. You're living at the racetrack. You're going to have snacks, foods, drink, some really fantastic meals prepared. There's a lot of bench racing going on. They've got a captive audience with me staying on the coach. We can answer. I can answer a lot of questions that the people may have. Tell stories, tell jokes. Joe will occasionally fire up the DVD DJ machine, get a little music going. So, you know, it's a real good time. And obviously, when you're at Bristol for the spring race, there's tons of motorhomes, tons of people. Everyone is always so friendly, so it's a good way to go and mingle. And like I said, you know, come and stay with JJ at the Star Coach Race Tours, and I believe he's only got maybe 2 spots left. So
yeah,
hopefully they can get those filled up and have some good times.
Portion of the proceeds is going to benefit the Speedway Children's Charities. Giving back is something that you've always been such a huge part of.
You know, obviously I've been blessed through a majority of my life of just, you know, being healthy, and, you know, there's people that are less fortunate, obviously. So anytime you can help someone else out, and it's not always money, it's just, you know, sometimes it's time, it's just lending an ear. You know, obviously there's a lot of different circumstances that people need help with. But
now, the deadline has come and gone in our 2011 J.J. Yeley Fantasy Fan Club Sprint Cup pool. We did open this up to everyone this year. I mean, we've all been tweeting away and trying to get everybody involved, and appreciate you getting your picks in on time. That's important. The name is also important. Explain the meaning behind it, because I want to get this right in week 1.
Did he change his name again?
He did. This is a really long one this time. So tell us a little bit about how you came up with the Mexican Commodore. I don't know. It was going to be kind of top secret, but now that you've let the cat out of the bag on my team name, you know? Trying to think of a good name, and, you know, usually if I go to a restaurant, they always ask your name, and you always try to come up with something goofy. So here of late, whenever they ask me, I say, the Commodore. They kind of give you a look, and I was just going to be the Commodore, and I was like, well, I'm going to be the Mexican Commodore because I'm a little bit Mexican, and kind of spice it up a little bit. So that's what I came up with. I made my picks. I did top secret, and I actually was trying to send them in without Kristen knowing that I had done it, because I didn't want her to cheat off me, because I think she did last year. But, yeah, so she doesn't, I don't think she knows who I picked, and I'm not even sure who she picked, and I don't remember what her team name was either, so you may have to hint that up to me at some point so I can make sure that I'm beating her that way. Yeah, well, you know,
my trades. I can't live down
yeah, we lost her real by.
We've been into the Facebook thing for, I think, 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah.
How many do you think JJ has?
The last time Natasha said, I think he has 160, and I made her go back on. It was at 400.
Okay.
So
we're now at 15. We are 4 from 1,600.
Wow. You're
pretty good.
You're pretty good. You're almost halfway to your Twitter number.
Well, it's fun. It's fun. And the problem I have, you know, obviously it helps with everything being linked and between my Twitter and my Facebook to make it easy and accessible. Trying to manage actual Facebook page from the computer is a little bit more difficult. There's all sorts of things that go on. I've got myself lost a couple times and confused probably just an equal amount of times. So at some point when things get caught up a little bit more, maybe even in the off week, I'll have Kristen explain to me exactly everything that's going on there.
There you go. Karen has succeeded. You know, she was pushing Facebook, and obviously somehow they got you convinced, and you're there. So I think it was easier to get you.
It wasn't much convincing. It was, this is what you're doing. You better do it.
Well, hey, sometimes that's half the battle. I mean, I don't even think it certainly wasn't a year ago that we got Twitter going, and I think you're just over 3,600 followers, or just under 3,600 followers. So we're not doing so bad. Trevor Bain made a point of saying in the media center that he was at 3,000 or something, and all of a sudden he was at 16,000. He goes, geez, because I've been working on this hard for a year. And he goes, all I had to do was win a race, and everything was going to change. He goes, it feels like all my hard work has gone down the drain.
Well, so, you know, that was obviously pretty cool that everything played out. You know, it was obviously great for Trevor as well as the Wood brothers, and, you know, it was a rookie who's run 2 cup races, win the Daytona 500 in the fashion which he did, and, you know, was obviously one of those things that's going to go down the record books. Is pretty cool.
Okay, guys, well, listen, have a safe trip out there. good luck, and we'll talk to you when you get back.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. You have a good night.